today's host. I hope you all are good and safe in this COVID-19 pandemic. We know that everyone is bored in this COVID-19 pandemic. So to make this week more productive, we have organized a webinar on a UX designing by Mr. Sachin Gawas. Mr. Sachin Gawas is an alumni of VIIT College. He is a product engineer at Unscramble. His hobby is being design mentor and has many mentors in UX and digital design product. You can know more about his work by going at sachingawas.com. I am sure this webinar will definitely help you to understand the UX designing in a better way. If you like our webinar, please like, share, and subscribe.
Hi everyone. I hope you all can hear me well. So my name is Sachin Gawas. I'm an alumni of VIIT. So let me begin with another introduction that I want to um, give to you guys. So my name is Sachin Gawas. I'm a software developer who turned into a UX designer. Uh, And yes, I'm a product designer at Unscramble.com, which is my current startup, where I lead the efforts for two of our conversational AI analytics offerings. And I have mentored many students before, and I occasionally speak at some of the UX events about UX and product design. Uh, when I say I'm a software developer turned UX designer is because when I passed out in about year 2009 or so, uh, I had a very traditional career choices to make, like being a software developer or being a software tester or being maybe uh, maybe a system administrator maybe. So I chose to be a software developer at that time as soon as I passed out. And yes, I worked for like 2.5 years maybe into the software as a software developer. And then saw an opportunity to become a UX designer, and I was really fascinated after reading all the articles about what exactly a UX designer do. And and since then, yes, it's almost been 8 or 9 years, maybe. I'm into the field of UX design. I have performed many different verticals in UX design because if you just go over to Google and search for UX designer, you will see that there are many different verticals that are part of UX design. So it's not just one vertical that you just learn and do it in the or perform it in the industry. But there are many different roles that you have to perform when it comes to becoming a UX designer. And I started my career as a UX researcher, which was an entirely or like pure user research role, and the responsibilities were like very different than or maybe I was not really entirely completing all the UX responsibilities out there, but it was just user research. But as I transitioned further into my career, and I started taking more and more roles, which are still part of the UX design, and you then become an entire like full stack UX designer. So today I want to present you guys something which I see as a UX designer that is or like the part of what exactly what exactly is part of UX design, or what exactly do you do as a UX designer, or what are your responsibilities, and how you exactly you can become a UX design. So there's a lot that we can talk about UX design, but we are limited by the number of hours in this webinar. But so I'll try to explain what exactly UX design is, and uh, what exactly all its terms, and what are all possible ways you can get into UX design. So let's begin. I want to begin with a very simple UX design definition. So go over Google and search for UX design, and you get this standard definition of UX design, which says that it's the process of enhancing user satisfaction with the product by obviously increasing the usability, accessibility, and desirability provided in the interaction with the product. So there are a lot of definitions that you can that you will see on the internet. But let's for that matter, let's take this definition, and I want to break it down for you guys into two different parts, where I'll be where it says that UX design. So it is popularly written in shorthand as like UXD or UED or Experience Design XD. So what you say is that the first part says that it's a process of enhancing user satisfaction with the product. So when it says process, I would rather want to add it as a continuous process. So UX design is not something that you do once during the life cycle of a product, but it's more like a continuous design process. And like we say, or like the industry says, that design is never done. So it's not really a job it's not really a process that you do once, or like it's not really a step that you do once and like you are done with it. Then you go to the next step, and so it doesn't happen like that. So it's a continuous process of enhancing your user satisfaction. So you work on one feature, you make sure that that particular feature is helping users uh, to achieve their goals. Then you release that particular version of your enhancements. But then you go back to the user, then you talk to them again, and see what exactly is going wrong, or if it is really working for them or not. Then you go back to the user. So it's like talking back to the users and asking about the feedback of how this particular feature is working for them or not. Then going back to your desk, designing again, coming overcoming all the problems which you found, and then releasing again another enhanced version of that particular feature. So it's more like a process that you continuously do during your entire UX design process. So that's like the first part of the definition that you will find. So that's a continuous process. So UX design is a continuous process of enhancing user satisfaction. The second part says that enhancing user satisfaction with the product by improving usability, accessibility, and desirable. Now, these three keywords I find really important in terms of designing an entire experience for a product, or maybe even for a small feature. So let me explain you guys what exactly these three keywords are, and they have. I think when you talk about UX, these are really important terms, and you should be always talking about UX design in almost only in these three terms possible. So let's talk about usability. Let's take an example of this ATM machine. If you go to any ATM machine, they will probably look exactly like this, with this, a screen on as a main display, as a main display. Then there's keyboards, or like there you can call it number pads. Then there are these card. This is where you insert your cards. This is where you get your money from. But if you just want to focus on a small part of this card insert slot, you will find that there are some subtle messages which have been given on this ATM interface. So think of this entire ATM machine as a product, or possibly a service, and look at the small details you know uh, that this particular machine is giving us. So, or maybe the product designers of this entire ATM machine is displaying. So you will see the machine says that you have to place your card in this fashion, or in this order, where the chip is upwards. There are these arrows where it shows that you have to insert your card here, or maybe this amazing, this nice little flash, the green flash LED light shows that this is where you have to start. You have to first insert your card, and maybe the same instructions, and obviously the same instructions are as well being displayed on this particular display as well. That as soon as you uh, come to or like come next to the ATM machine, it starts displaying some instruction that you have to first insert your card, and then you start inserting your card, and then you start the display then shows you next action that you have to enter your pin and all that. So this is all this kind of information that it shows on the product or on the interface uh, are giving a user small clues at how exactly I have to operate this machine, or how exactly I have to start using this product. So what exactly a usability is? It's the ease of use and learnability of a human-made object, such as a tool or a device. So so when it comes to so usability in simple manners, it's just ease of use of your product, and how easy it is for your users to learn about its function. So maybe it's an entirely different product which has entirely different features, or which entirely function in a completely different manner than your regular products or regular tools, but it should have an easy learning curve. So it should be easy for users to learn your new features, uh, and that's what the usability is. So it could be a tool, or it could be a device, or maybe when I say tool or device, it straightly points out to a physical device, but it also holds true when you are actually designing a digital product as well. So yes, that's usability, the ease of use and the learnability that you provide with your product or with your interface. Let's again go back to the ATM machine, and you see that these number pads, which has braille codes on it. So the second keyword which we saw in our definition was I guess accessibility. So the accessibility is which straightly says that accessibility is the ability to access by all people, including people with disabilities. Now, when it comes to UX design, we just call it as an inclusive design, where you are making sure that be it of any ability, the like all kinds of people with all kinds of disabilities should be able to use your product. And if you go back to this ATM machine, maybe we will find some clues where maybe the people with hearing problems can actually put in their microphones, or maybe, or sorry, the headphones inside, inside. So they have given us a nice little head jack to put in. Uh, then on the screen, you see that the number pads has braille codes on it. So even the visually impaired person can actually go and press in these keys, and with the sounds coming in from this particular machine, might as well help the visually impaired person to just go and take some cash out. So that was the second keyword, accessibility, where we say that your product should be easily accessible, or people with all kinds of disabilities should be able to access your product or use your product very well. Uh, the third keyword was desirability in our definition. So just look at this simple example of where when I say that if I have to give you choice between Wagoner and BMW, like if I have to gift you guys a Wagoner and BMW, uh, I'm sure that 100% of the people will go for a BMW, and that obviously because of his aesthetic design, or maybe the brand that we care about. BMW rather than Maruti Suzuki, or maybe the horsepower it gives and all that. So obviously, when you have to choose between a Wagoner and a BMW, you will go for a you will obviously go for a BMW, and that's desirability, that keyword. So desire or emotions behind the decision. So when you have to choose between two products, maybe same product. So both of these are cars, but yes, you have these emotions, these desires behind BMW. You have more emotions. You have more emotions and more desire towards owning a BMW rather than a Wagoner. So that was a third keyword. And So if you go back to the definition once again, let's read it again, that user experience is the process of enhancing user satisfaction by improving the usability, accessibility, and desirability. The three keywords, very important words, provided in the interaction with the product. So interaction is where, like I said, when you have to use an ATM, you have to insert your card. So that's an interaction happening between a human and a machine. And the second line of this definition says that yes, it's an extended version of human computer interaction, HCI, which I believe is your current subject, which I believe you're studying this subject. And what it says that UX actually extends the HCI design subject by addressing all aspects of product or service as perceived by the user, or as used by the users. So that was so this is the standard definition that you will get. You search more and you will find few more such definition, but they still they still holds the first definition true, or maybe you will still find some similar keywords than that being used in other definitions. So go to interaction-design.org website, and if you search their website, they will say that user experience design is the process, the continuous process design teams use to create products that provide meaningful and relevant experience to the users. Same, the continuous process design teams use that gives meaningful, as in like the usable or more desirable and more accessible experience, relevant experience to their users. So this involves the design of entire process of acquiring and integrating the product, including the aspects of branding, design, usability, and function. Now, I believe this particular definition is far more related to digital designing for digital products, maybe your mobile apps, maybe your web apps, and all that. So you'll find many such definition, but just remember that there are a couple of keywords that you have to really make sure that uh, you have to understand these particular keywords the most. Or like you have to focus more on these keywords a lot. Uh, Let me go back to this guy. His name is Don Norman. Don Norman. He's the one who really tossed the term of UX design. I don't really remember the name, but I believe he was working in Apple those days, and he decided to come up with this particular function, or this particular function of team, uh, where their entire focus is on building an amazing experience for their products, for the products of Apple and all. So he has a website called, or like maybe he runs a group called nmgroup.com, and they have some pretty amazing articles that you guys can go through, which talks only about product design and UX, product and UX design. I would really want you guys to check his website out. Uh, I want to go to the next part of the session where I want to talk about what exactly the UX tools and what exactly are their responsibilities. So I really want to show you. I took a screenshot of uh, a simple job description of a UX designer, and what exactly the companies are expecting from you as a UX designer. And they straight away mention like what exactly they expect when you join them as a UX designer. So they say that you have to work with the product owners, or you have to work with and you have to work with the development teams. You have to work closely with the product owners, where sometimes it also says that some of the job description would also say that you have to you have to really work closely with the CEOs as well. So in my couple of last startups, I have closely worked with startups. Even in my current startup right now, the which I'm working on right now, I work closely with my co-founders and the CEO, where they are the actual product owners and the managers. So what do you say that the second line, if you read closely, that you have to work closely with the product owner to make sure the product vision is aligned with the client's needs, uh, and assist in design discussions with the client. Yes. So there are business decisions. So there are like business needs, and obviously the business need is to make money out of your product, but there are as well client needs or like your user needs, which has to be satisfied in such a way that you're also able to achieve your business needs. So you have to so you as a product designer or you as a UX designer, you have to make sure that both these business needs and both these user needs are very well gelled together. You may able to if there are like 10 different needs from you from uh, or for example 10 different needs from users, and they're like this budget that do you have, like for example this could be a business need or this could be the business goal, that your business can spend only about these many dollars in 3 months time, and you have to deliver like 10 different features. Then you may have to compromise uh, on uh, on the total number of user needs that you can actually take up into that particular 3 months time. So it's something like that. So you have to make sure that you both of your product vision needs or like both of your product needs and or like both of your user needs and business needs are very well gelled together. They go hand in hand as well. Design beautiful and usable WordPress web and mobile applications for clients. By design, it actually means only design and not development. Create user journeys, workflows, and wireframes for the product. I'll show you a couple of images where all these user journeys and workflows and wireframes are I've shown in the pictures in the next slides. Perform user experience research to maximize the market fit of the product. Learn new tools and techniques. Obviously, it's the number of tools that you can learn in UX design field there are many, but you can choose to you can choose to learn a few, and should be able to do your job well as well. So collaborate with the team members. So just look at these the highlighted highlight lines, that you have to collaborate with your team members. You have to keep on learning your new tools and techniques. You have to make sure that you are doing your user research well, that make sure that the market fit of the product uh, is amazing. You have to create user journey. So there are many different verticals, or there are many different sides of UX design responsibilities that you have to perform as a UX designer. So if you go to maybe a software developer's job description, maybe you're expected just to code, like maybe just to code in maybe 3 different languages or so. But when it comes to UX design, you have to make sure you have to learn few more skills, as in how to convince you about your approach, or how to convince about your solution to the product owners, the CEOs, the stakeholders, the co-founders. So that's like completely different skills that you have to learn. You have to learn the skill of creating or designing beautiful UI for your web or mobile apps. You should be able to do some research on how to create user journeys, workflows. You should be able to talk to the users. You should be able to test your product with the users. You should be able to upskill yourself with learning new tools and techniques, just to make sure that your product design or your product development goals or like timelines are being achieved. And obviously you have to collaborate with your team members. So that team could be your CEO, that could be your stakeholder, that could be your developers, and maybe yes, and might as well be your users as well. So you should be able to collaborate with them, just to make sure that you are delivering an amazing experience for your product. So that's a standard JD, that's a standard job description uh, that uh, that you will always see when you are looking for a UX job. Uh, so let me show you guys a couple of pictures of what exactly the life of a UX designer looks like. Let me take a so, uh, yeah. So in this picture, you will see they are talking to your users. So you have to talk to your users a lot many times. Maybe before the start of the product design, or maybe even after you have something in your hand as a product, as a like developed product. You have to take this product, you have to take that product, and you have to go talk to your users. You have to test it with your users, and you have to watch them how exactly they are using your product. You have to understand their needs, you have to understand their goals, what exactly they want to achieve by using your product and all, and what exactly are the expectations from your product. So there, when you look at the life of a UX designer, like everyday responsibility that they perform, maybe many a times it involves a lot of talking to the users. There are like a lot of post-it notes. So when you talk to your users, you have to get back to your desk, and you have to you have to find, or you have to nurture all those needs, or you have to find out from that last discussion that you did with the with your users. You have to figure out what exactly they are expecting, what exactly your users are expecting from your product, and you have to come back to that board. You have to come back to your UX war room, and you have to come up. So these are like some user flows, like some of the user journeys that people try to draw first with the sticky notes, post-it notes. So that's like pretty standard war room that we'll see in any UX design studio, or maybe even bigger companies that you go, that they first try to go back to the board, and figure out what exactly the people's needs, and they write it down and post it over there, as like so. Try to arrange everything in one feature, and try to arrange all these post-it notes together as like one feature and all. There was a lot of sketching, on the paper, a lot of it's also called as paper prototyping, where you have to, so instead of going right away, going back to your tool, or like going back to your desk, open your laptop and a tool, design tool, and start designing right away. Most of the UX designers would prefer uh, a pen and paper first, and draw something on the floor, or like draw those user flows, that how user is going to start from, how exactly his onboarding journey is going to be in your product, and how exactly he's going to start using other features in your product. So there involves a lot of sketching. We call it paper prototyping here. Uh, it involves a lot of, if you can see these screens over here, mobile screens. So they use stencils, and they use pen and paper, and that's it. So that's how they go forward. And once they have satisfied with sketching, they might as well go use a wireframe tool. So and so they might as well use a wireframe tool on their laptop, on their desktop, and start creating these wireframes. Now these wireframes can be connected together. So just to create I would not say a lookalike a lookalike prototype, but it's just a skeleton of your entire app interface. So everything is just a skeleton. There are no colors. Literally, they don't use any colors. So it's just green, black, or white. That's it. So that's all possible colors that you are supposed to use when you're actually wireframing. Many a times people choose to skip this step as well, paper prototyping. But yes, now that they are like very easy tools that you can use to draw these kind of wireframes, and skip to it, because it has now become really easy to create some amazing wireframes. even before jumping to creating a high fidelity prototype. Now, high fidelity, when I talk about high fidelity prototype, this is how it may look like. So a lot of prototyping, prototyping is mean you're actually going to use a tool like Sketch, or maybe a tool like Adobe XD, Experience Design, or maybe a Figma. So these are all designing and prototyping tool where you are going to actually design your UI. So that looks like so that high fidelity UI, which we call, it's going to look like an exact replica of your product. It's just that there's no code involved in it. It's just the it looks like your product, which you can like in this picture, this lady is testing her prototype, which this I believe is a sketch, which she has designed in Sketch, and she's testing on her mobile that how exactly the screen is looking. So maybe she's holding an iPhone possibly, and she's testing her iPhone UX designs, iPhone UI design in her iPhone phone. Uh, so that's prototyping. So she can actually click on a button and she can go to the next screen and all that. So that involves a lot of so that's actually prototyping and UI design. Let's go back to the next step, where once you have prototype your product, you have to go back to your user. In this step, you have just taken up your prototypes or the mockups which you have designed here. So I'm still saying that there's still no code involved in it, and you're going back to users. In this case, maybe a boy who's playing possibly a game, and you're asking him to use your prototype, right? Obviously, in case of game, you cannot just test it with the prototypes or the static prototypes or mockups. Uh, but with screens like where you have to test your mobile app, so something like this, where you have designed your mobile, you are done your mobile UI design, and you want to test it with your users, that how exactly they are using it. Is your journey flow right? Is they are clicking the right button which you want your users to click? Are they being distracted by any other content that you have put in, instead of focusing on the most important content on the screen? So you can test all those possibilities in your user testing process. Uh, yeah, so yes, so that's user testing with your users even before writing the single line of code. So that's pretty much the life of a UX designer. Or like these are all the possible uh, responsibilities that I wanted to show you guys in pictures of a UX designer looks like. Let's go to the next where it shows you a life cycle of a product development maybe. Yes, it's about life cycle of a product development where where we as UX designer have to focus more on these three aspects, or these three steps of a UX design of a product design phase. Uh, Now, like I said in my first part, that UX designer is a lot of things. There are like many sides, many verticals to it. And you as a UX designer, you have to focus on a lot many things at once. Uh, it's So there are like different needs of a startup and a big company. So when you have joined as a UX designer, or when you join as a UX designer in a startup, because they are limited on their budget, they expect from you as to take part or take responsibility of all these three different phases as one. So in my current company, I work as the only UX designer, or the only product designer in the team, and I have to make sure that I'm talking to my users. So that's one phase of research that I do. I also make sure that I go back to my desk and design an amazing prototype, an amazing UI design, and I also make sure that I have to prototype it well, and I have to give it, or like I have to test it with my stakeholders or the users as well. So I pretty much manage these entire three responsibilities altogether. But if you but that's a startup. So in a startup, you are expected to work as a full stack designer, or work as a full stack UX designer. Uh, there's one more part of being a full stack UX designer is front end development. If you have designed a prototype, you might as well be expected to um, actually develop it, or actually develop its UI itself, which could be using HTML, CS, and JS for developing a web app. But it's also holds true for developing the UI, just the UI part of a mobile app, or maybe Android app, or maybe an iOS app. And there are those tools which are available uh, for you to just develop the entire interface which you have designed in your earlier features. So yes, but yes, I don't do this, but I think these three phases are enough for you to become a full stack UX designer. But like I said, when you go to big companies like maybe Amdocs, or maybe Barclays, or maybe Accenture, you will find uh, uh, big UX teams uh, on the floors. So they have they have different people who do research. They have different people who do UI design. They have different people who do interaction design, or maybe motion design, and all that. So there are different teams who do different jobs or different responsibilities. But obviously, when you're part of a startup, you're supposed to uh, be a full stack designer. And I would always suggest that when you want to become a UX designer, you must know, like you should strive to perform all these three responsibilities together. Uh, Yes, like I said, so research, the first phase of UX designer, where you can, where you, if you want, you can take up a responsibility as a user researcher, because there are different jobs available just for user researchers, usability analyst, or information architect. Now these two. Now, I don't want to go deeper into what exactly their roles and responsibilities are. But yes, you can Google search on it, what exactly they do. It's pretty fairly simple, uh, and you'll possibly get a deep understanding. You can possibly get a deep understanding on what exactly their responsibilities are. Visual and motion, you can take up this field, or you can take this side of the as in when I say you can take this side is what I meant is you can actually choose to be a part of this side of UX design, where it involves being a UX visual designer, or maybe an interaction designer, or maybe a motion designer. And uh, uh, and uh, as you like, there are these different roles available in the industry for you to become a visual designer, or maybe take this side of UX design, visual and motion, or take this research side of the UX design. uh, and the third phase is the UX development, where you're actually going to execute that design which you created. I showed you this process of UX design, UI design till front end development design. So you can take up either of these four sides: UX development, UI visual motion design. Sorry, the three sides. They probably have combined UX design and interaction design, UI design together. But yes, the last phase of UX design could be the UX development itself. So you can go and if you're really interested in becoming a software developer, you can actually be part of the front end development team of your product, and you can actually execute that UI. You can actually execute those animations or interactions, just to add that delightful element into your product. So there are like three different sites where you can go: research, visual and motion, or UX development. Uh, I want to show you this picture of UX unicorn, where you can search for UX unicorn, and probably you will get exactly same picture in the results. So which involves, it just talks about user research, or like UX unicorn is like it's like a job role, I would say. You will find in couple of years going forward, that a UX guy, or like a person who is able to do all kinds of UX activities, all kinds of UX process together, where he's able to do the user research, the usability testing, is able to do the user journey mapping, the exploration part of the product design cycle, the fineness, the visual design. We talked about UI design, the details and delightful elements that you can add, fineness of being a UX unicorn. And there are many such elements that you can actually, that you can actually explore. So data analytics, which is big right now, that you have to, so it says the evidence, right? So right now there are tools where or like data analytics tool, where you get to know that how exactly your users are using your app, what kind of screens they are getting a lot of problems, or where exactly they are getting off the board, or they are not able to sign up. So you can actually find out those user journeys where, or like you get some data about, like, out of 600 onboarding users, 300 found problem in onboarding, or like creating an actual sign up, and all that. So you can get that kind of data, and you can decide what screen or what user flow you have to make changes to. So they're like uh, those aspects of being a UX unicorn, where you can actually, you know, upskill yourself, being able to understand the behavioral insights of user. Right. So there are many such, because we are short on time. Let me just go next. The third part is opportunities and getting started in UX. Uh, UX design is among the top five in demand scale. It was still in top 10. It is still in top five right now, in Jan 2020 report of LinkedIn. You can go search for it, and there are many other skills, but UX design is still among top 10 skills that industries are expecting, or like the industries want to have. Like, even a small startup now wants UX designers on board, no matter how small, but they want a UX designer to be on board. And when I say startup, it's not just a startup who is developing a product, but there are also UX design studios there who are entirely dedicated to creating all these assets of research, all these assets of UI design, all these assets of interaction and front end development. So there are those UX design studios where you can have an opportunity, or as well. So I just wanted to show you this fact that it's UX design is among the top five in demand skills. If you consider about Pune area, I'm going to show. If you go on PayScale, or on Glassdoor, you will find that an average annual salary of a UX design could be around 7 lakh to 9 lakhs. So for beginners, like even for with zero experience, and just to like just have a strong portfolio, who, or like people who are just entirely new to UX design, but obviously it is expected that about UX design. You have to take some courses, you have to do your self study and all that, and you have to know what exactly you do, and probably you might as well learn two or three tools in UX design. And when you get an entry into UX design, maybe if you have an experience about 0 to 3 years, maybe you're possibly to get uh, a package of like 7 lakh or 9 lakh maybe per annum. Yes, and my startup offers a basic package for like about 7 to 8.5 or something, for just even for the beginners. So yes, you can explore, at least look at the salary, and just try to explore that this particular field. Uh, uh, Yeah, structured. So how you can get started is you can go for some structured online courses on Coursera and Udemy. You will find some basic foundation course, very basic course that you can take up. I would first suggest you to take some structured online courses, and then if you're still not able, you are still not confident on what you have learned, I think. I would suggest you being I believe everyone is engineer here. Everyone is an engineering graduate here. I would suggest if you want, you can join a UX design school, like some local UX design schools, or you can even attend some UX workshop. And there's a lot you can learn in a day's workshop also. Find yourself a mentor, people who are already working in UX. You can find some colleagues. You can find your friends who are already working as UX designer, and you'll get at least get to know that what exactly you have to learn first, and where exactly you can start, or what tools you can start with and all. So find yourself a mentor that can really help you out. The next is you have to be really aware of UX trend, because there are a lot of changes happening in the UX industry. There are a lot of changes happening in the entire product design uh, vertical. There are new devices coming in, there are new screen sizes coming in, and you have to cope up with that. And if you really have to cope up with that, you really have to, read all these kind of blogs, and you have to follow some inspirations on dribble.com and behance.com, where you will find a lot of product designers and all. And they create a lot of amazing stuff almost every day. And that's how you can be very well be aware about UX trends. So make sure that you are using these blogs, these inspirational sites. And the last, I believe, is you have to learn at least one design tool, which is used for creating UI design and prototyping. There are three popular UX design tools right now: Figma, Adobe XD, and Sketch. You can choose to be proficient in any of these three. I personally love Figma a lot. It's free, uh, and it is far more powerful than Adobe XD or Sketch. At least it's far more powerful than Sketch. I haven't really explored much about Adobe XD, but I see that Adobe XD has far more amazing prototyping features than Figma. But yes, Figma is nonetheless, it's not. It's certainly superior in creating amazing amazing design with, or maybe I would say it's more structured design, which is far more scalable going forward in your product design cycle. So yes, I think yeah, I think the last one is increasing your online presence. So if you learn these tools, you should also push yourself in building your own design portfolio. So I'm talking in the from this perspective, where let's assume that you have zero experience in UX design, and you follow all these steps of learning from a course, or maybe from a local design school, or all that. Maybe you might as well you learn Figma tool, or maybe one or two tools, and go ahead. And I would suggest you should increase your online presence by building, like creating one or two stuffs in those tools. Maybe might as well publish your user research, or maybe might as well publish your usability analysis of a particular product, and just publish it on LinkedIn, or maybe you might as well just create your own website where you can publish all your articles, publish your designs. And I would suggest you build your design portfolio with some sample use cases. You can take some local products, you can take some simple apps, and you can create do some user research, or maybe might as well you do the usability analysis about it and just publish it online. How it helps is, even though you're going to be beginner, even though you are a beginner, when you actually approach these companies, when they say that you have zero experience, but you still have like this much work done as UX designer, and they might as well get you on board if they are really impressed with your the kind of work which you have published online. So yes, that I believe is the end of all the slides. So I think I'm open for answers. I'm open for questions right now.
Okay. Thank you, Sachin. That was a very nice experience listening to the UX designer or product designer. I'll begin with the QA session. Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So we have many questions. So the first question is from Sumit.
Hmm.
It is related to masters. So, do you think masters in HCI would help me understand and get a boost in career after my BTech in CSE?
Uh, I honestly, I mean, that's my personal opinion. Though I haven't taken any formal education. Right after my engineering graduation, I was a developer and then I turned a UX designer. I'm like a self-made UX designer, and I haven't really taken any formal education in UX design. But I would really suggest that you can check what exactly is being taught. If it is really industry specific, you can go for it. But I would right now, like at this point of time during this pandemic, I would rather say that just go and jump into this field of UX design. Just learn a lot of stuff about it, and I would say just see if you're actually getting an opportunity where you can actually or like you can join a startup or a small company and where you can actually learn more about UX design. I think that's how you should start, I believe.
Okay. We have a next question from Anjali.
Mhm.
Do companies coming in for the placements in engineering colleges look for UX designers?
uh, I'm not sure if they have started yet, but honestly, the big companies which I've seen or like which I've been part of, uh, they don't directly recruit you as a UX designer. Yes, they might as well just recruit you as a fresher first, and they'll probably put you into 3 months of this learning and development sessions and all that. But they won't teach you UX design right away. But right after their learning and development period is over, like 3 months or 6 months maybe, they might as well ask you about your choices, and that time I think you should really talk to them about your interest, your UX design interest. But as far as I know, big companies don't directly hire you from the campus as a UX designer, but there's one chance where you can actually follow up with them, follow up with them some of the startups where they might as well hire you as a UX designer or like UX intern. UX intern is a very well set position in the industry, even in the area of Pune and Mumbai, where you can find there are a lot of people joining in as a UX intern. Even I had like a couple of UX interns a few months back. We had them, so they learn, and they were actual college passed, college fresh passed out. So yes, UX intern is a position. I think if you just Google for UX intern position, available UX intern position, I think you'll might as well find few.
Okay. So I hope next time you consider VIIT to hire the interns for as a UX
Absolutely,
designer.
absolutely.
Okay, we have a question from Pooja, and she wants you to guide her on writing the case study.
Yeah, sure. I can do that. As in, like, do I have to answer the question, or like, we can
Yes,
take it
yes.
a little? Okay.
In
I mean,
short, you can
she
answer
can.
the question. And
Okay. Can you just repeat that question?
uh, she's saying, can you guide us on how to write test cases, or maybe sorry, case studies?
Oh, case study. So that really could be a long discussion, Pooja. But I think you have my email. I think if you just write me email over, I'll just reply back to your email. This could really take a long. And I might as well send you some sample case studies which I had written in past or from some other designers for inspiration.
Okay, so Pooja, you can write an email to Sachin, and he will reply you back. Next we have from Avijit.
Mhm.
Should we, what is that? Should we hone our coding skills if we want to dive into this field? And if yes, then which is the programming language?
Uh, if I take you back to this product life cycle, you will see there are three different phases that you can upskill yourself as a UX designer. uh, but there's no way you have to do any kind of coding. There is like zero coding involved in any all these three phases. You know these three phases, you are good to become a full stack UX designer. Like you are like know all UX designer. But if you want to be there's one more phase of front end development where you have to actually go and create an actual or like develop an actual UI which you have designed here. You can take that vertical, but you know, the looking at the response, the kind of responsibility or the big responsibility that the UX designer does, it's really rare that you will find a UX designer doing all these four phases as like one person. So it's really it's quite impractical as well, but also you know, in some companies you might as well find two or three designers, UX designers, doing a job of you know, performing all these four steps. But yes, if you want to be that UX unicorn like this one, uh, I think yes, you can go ahead and learn programming language of maybe an HTML, CSS, JS, and that's for web app development. If you want to be more focused on a mobile UX designer, I think you should learn Android Design Studio. And there is one for iOS, for like iOS mobile app. I think I forgot the name of the app. If you email me back, I'll just return back right back to you that what exactly that language is. I think it's, yes, I think it's Swift, where you can design, when you can actually develop those iOS mobile apps, like develop those mobile apps. So there's Swift for iOS. There's Android Design Studio, which you can use, Android SDK, I believe, where you can actually develop those actual UIs. And obviously for web app, you have HTML, CSS, and JS.
Okay. Sachin, there is a question from your professor,
Uh,
Dr. Deshpande, Yogesh
sure.
Deshpande, sir.
Yes, yes. Sure, sir.
Is IT or computer engineering background sufficient to become a UX designer, or an undergraduate degree is in UX design is necessary for the profession?
Uh, IT and I mean, like I said, I haven't really taken any formal education in UX design, so I don't have any degree in UX design. But like I'm a self-made UX designer, and I've learned everything on my own while working on these UX design projects. I think IT, being having an engineering background really helps you. There are courses offered by many other institutes in Pune as well, who offer entirely whose entire like stream is UX design. So it's like maybe like 4 years of course. But the difference which I find being an engineer and being an a pure background of UX design, I think you as an engineer has far more advantages on understanding how systems work, which like we already have like some preface and some knowledge of how exactly programs are written, and or like how code is written and how exactly the system is supposed to work. So we know how the entire life cycle or product development life cycle, and that really helps us a lot in actually collaborating with the developers. Like if you because if you take an amazing like gaudy experience with design an amazing gaudy experience and just give it to the developers, he will say that the kind of programming languages or the kind of development stack we use, it's not possible. The UI which you are designing is not possible in this language, right? So that should not happen. So you being an engineer, you always have an upside over any other UX designers who are like purely into UX design, or like who have taken 4 years of graduation course in UX design. And because you have that upside because you have an understanding of how systems work, how software systems work. And I think me being an engineer and then getting into being a software developer for some time, and then getting into design was has really helped me a lot, because I understand the system. I know how databases work. I know how what is possible in this particular language, and what kind of possible interaction that we can have on the interface. So that really has helped me to collaborate well with the stakeholders and design exactly what is possible and what is not.
Okay. I think that answered the next question of Deshpande sir, that
Absolutely.
they were keen to know that what motivated you to take the UX designer as a career choice against the typical software coding job taken up by the majority of IT companies.
Right, right, absolutely.
Uh, okay, we have a next question which is based related to AR, VR field, augmented reality and virtual reality field. I lost the question. Can you just focus on UX designer's role in the augmented and virtual reality field?
Okay. So see, AR and VR has entirely different interaction patterns. When I say interaction patterns, is it's about using a particular service through AR and VR, or maybe using a particular product through AR and VR. So it's the I showed you an example of an ATM machine. I mean, I can just go there and I can just press some numbers and I get my money out. So that's how I interact with that machine. But AR and VR has entirely different interaction patterns, just like how the interaction pattern is different in Android and different in iOS, right? So so AR, so yes, so AR and VR has uh, do you have like some specialized UX skills to learn when you want to design for such different kind of interaction patterns. So maybe it's it, it could be AR and VR obviously, but there are like another part as well. Like I have like I have Google Home at my home, and the only way I can interact with that device is through voice, and there are just taps on it for lowering the volume or increasing the volume and all. So there are different patterns to it. So you have to get into a different kind of UX role out there, because the device is different, where the product is different, the interaction pattern is different. You have to learn that, and then when I say that you have to learn that, what I mean is that there are those design patterns, or there are those design guidelines which are already there on the internet. You just search for it, or maybe you might as want to search for like how to UX design for an AR product, for an VR product. So like I said, so UX is uh, UX is the top 5 skill, because there are many products, or there are many kind of different products are coming into the market, and there are going to be different ways people are going to interact with those products. So it's a top skill. The UX design is a top skill because of different varieties we have and different ways people are interacting with those products. So uh, I think yes. Uh, it's just that you have to learn those different design patterns, learn those UX design different patterns for uh, different devices and different products. I hope that answers your question. But it has a really important role, as in.
Sachin, there are so many questions on how to get the internship in this particular field, and what are the what you can say. skills that you highlight when you are going to be recruited as an UX designer. So what are the skills that's to be mentioned onto your resume or maybe folios? So can you just enlighten on this point?
So, what skills we are supposed to learn?
Yes, what skills, what are the tools, or maybe where you
Okay.
can get the basic learner's knowledge about the UX design and all.
So, yes, there are a couple of foundation basic courses to get you started with courses, and I always suggest, because when I started with UX, I started with this just to get an overall understanding of what exactly this UX design field is. So, I would suggest you go for Udemy or go for Coursera to look at these sort of foundation courses or learn these foundation courses, and they are being taught by some industry experts. So yes, do that. On top of that, what you can, if you're still not confident, go for a local design school. And the skills, and obviously the finding mentor and becoming aware about yourself. That's I'll share the PPT with you, sir. But yes, the skills which I would suggest you can learn is some of the tools which are available for you to right away start with. So this Figma, which I would really strongly suggest, it's free for like 2 or 3, or maybe for a project or so. I think which I believe it's sufficient for just to get you started. So Figma is a design tool, design and prototyping tool, which you can learn. I mean, you can start from today itself, even even without uh, worrying about how exactly research works. So you can just go ahead and look at some mobile app as an inspiration on the sites which I showed you here, and just go on creating these amazing UI mocks. So I'll show you this site. So if I go to product design, you'll probably find some amazing apps. So for example, this one, I mean, they have like you're not supposed to like create an exact same kind of representation or maybe UI design. Maybe, well, obviously we are not supposed to you as a UX designer are not supposed to work as a graphic designer, because graphic designer has a different responsibilities altogether. If you just search on Google about what is difference between graphic design and UX design, you'll probably get to know about his responsibility. But yes, you can go ahead and look at these inspirations and use the tools which I suggested you in the PPT, and start designing something like this, and test your prototypes. So that's one skill that I would prefer you can start with. The other skill which I would suggest is know more about how users behave, like when they're using a particular kind of an app, or how what exactly the behavioral analysis is, how to do that usability analysis and all that. So you can start. So when you want to start with research, I think there are like few couple of usability analysis or information architecture and all that. So those are a couple of skills that you can start with.
Yes, even I can share. There is a course on Coursera, which is available from University of Michigan, and the
Right,
course is user interface design. So you can start
right,
with user interface design introduction part, and there are 4 different specializations into that particular course. So you can start with the foundation, and you can go to the expert courses
right,
also. And there are many
right,
more websites or blogs. Those are available for learning about the user interface design. So you have usability.gov. You have so if you have any other questions, this is for the audience. If you have any other questions, you can mail it to Sachin, and Sachin will definitely reply you back, because there are so many tools, there are so many prototype templates. Those are available online, which you can use for user interface design and all. I guess we'll end this Q&A session, and this was a very good learning experience. I hope for all the participants and for the panelists also. And on behalf of VIIT Alumni Association, I thank Sachin Gawas for sharing his knowledge and expertise in user experience and user experience design. Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you, everyone.
I,
I'm really glad
I,
here.
yes, I'd like to thank WOW also for their support in organizing this webinar. And finally, thank you to all the participants and attendees. If there are students from Vishwakarma Institute or Vishwakarma Group, I request them, if you have any query or any doubts which remains unsolved in this particular session, please mail it to Sachin Gawas. He has shared his email address, and I'm sure he'll definitely answer those particular queries. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Enjoy the
guys.
weekend.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. With that, we'll now close the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.